everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lady Morales. I'm your girl for all things law of attraction and spiritual awakening. It's such a pleasure to have you guys back. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how I learned to accept my body. Even though I'm plus size, even though I'm considered overweight and obese, whatever, how I learned to finally disidentify with my appearance and to really focus on who I am as a person, who I am that the universe chose me to be or become. And I will say that if you guys don't know, I did go through a 10-year battle with my eating disorder, and I had my fair share of weight problems, or I should say focus on weight in a negative way. And through the focus of weight, it also led me to, suicidal idealization and to really just wanting to end my life because I did not feel worthy because of my weight. And I've tried everything in my 10 years to lose weight, every diet pill, every exercise, everything. And it just led to worse and worse and worse crap. And a lot of people out there, like eating disorder recovery coaches, will tell you to focus on body positivity and to focus on the things that you do love about your body, etc. For me, I found that actually not only triggering, but actually focusing on the problem, which is my appearance. And I eventually learned that I am not my appearance. I am me. I am Lady Morales, the person. And I learned that I am just a spiritual being living in a physical manifestation of a human body. And I did not learn body acceptance through body positivity. Again, I tried to do all those exercises where focus on like something you do love about yourself or whatever. It may have, and again, do what resonates with you. I'm only telling you from my experience that for body acceptance, I learned, I'm saying specifically body acceptance. I'm not saying body positivity. I'm saying body acceptance. That I learned that by focusing on trying to love my body and loving my curves or whatever it is that they say out there, that it was actually focusing on the problem while I was recovering from my eating disorder. And it was focusing on weight. It was focusing on body. It was focusing on appearance. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, if that works for you, go for it 100%. Now, as a disclaimer, I'm not saying I'm anti-body positivity. I'm a plus-size actress, for crying out loud. Like, I follow a lot of body positive activists and bloggers, and everything they do is just inspires me and it motivates me. It's like, yes, queen, like, you do you, boo-boo. Like, it's super inspirational. But I'm here to tell you guys that for a while, I had to stop focusing so much on things that focus specifically on my weight and my appearance and really shift my focus on things that I actually love, what I was passionate about, like my hobbies, my interests, etc. So that's a great transition into the second step, which is I actually had to shift my perspective from my body being as I don't know who said it, but it's like your body is an instrument, not an ornament. I had to really focus on the reasons why my body was for me, not against me. And I really do 100% believe that if I was not worthy, I would not exist. And I understood that God put me on this earth and God is with me, not against me. So I started focusing, instead of body positivity, I started focusing on the ways that my body is actually working for me. And I knew that my body was with me because over time, the more that I allowed myself to unconditionally eat, the more that my hunger cues began to come back to normal and I became an intuitive eater. And I also learned that through sugar addiction, like people thought, I used to think and label myself as somebody who was addicted to sugar, or somebody that was an emotional eater. I may get flack for this. I do not believe in sugar addiction. I do not believe in emotional eating. I believe that the reason why we go into sugar, we become addicted to sugar and we become quote unquote emotional eaters is because we restrict food. Once you guys, and I swear to you guys, once I allowed myself unconditionally to eat however much sugar I want and to eat whatever I want, whenever I want, and forget the hunger scales that they made me fill out and just like eat whenever I want and just to eat. I'm telling you guys, over time, and even till this day, I rarely eat sugar. I don't eat sugar. I have like these box of chocolates that I'm looking at right now that have been in my room for like almost 3 weeks, I want to say, and I've only eaten like 2 of them. And there's like, I don't know, there's like a bunch in there. but I do not eat sugar as much. I don't. And again, even if I did, like the only time I do is when I'm about to start, like that time of the month for me. But I am not what's called addicted to sugar. Once I allowed myself to, and I'm going somewhere with all this. Yeah, I'm like ranting. But once I allow myself to unconditionally eat sugar, I'm telling you guys, I do not crave sugar as much. And I also eat when I'm hungry. I don't eat just because I'm bored. And even if I do, it's like whatever. Like I just move on with my life. And I do believe that if my body is hungry, it's for a reason. And it's not because it hates me. It's not because it wants me to gain weight. It's because my body needs something. So I say that to say that I wrote that down. Like my body is for me because when I feed it the food that it wants, it gives me energy. It gives me, it doesn't overeat. It doesn't, it really is on my side. My body doesn't want to overeat all day. It wasn't designed to overeat all day. My body is the smartest biological organism on the planet that was designed in its own amazing way that it's an explanation far beyond I can ever imagine. I also, other things I began to list as well that changed my relationship from more as like accepting my body for the instrument that it is instead of the ornament that I thought it was, is I learned that it helped me every time that I'm sick, my body is fighting for me to heal. And my body's immune system is literally in gear 24/7 trying to make sure that I'm back to homeostasis. And I also wrote down things like every time I have a wound or I have a scar, my body finds some beautiful biological reason. It finds a way to get back to homeostasis, and my skin heals on its own. Like the wound heals on its own without me doing anything. And I also say like my body, ever since my hunger cues, my body has an amazing digestive system. My body healed me from acne. My body healed me from an eating disorder. My body, has a beautiful way of taking the nutrients it needs and taking care of it by itself and doing whatever it needs to do. Once I started shifting my perspective on how my body is for me, not against me, that's when I realized that I was onto something. And then that's when I also began to believe that my body was truly for me and not against me. Despite what society and the dieting culture says, my body is truly on my side. And I began to learn and accept my body through that way, through it being an instrument, not an ornament. And then, once I shifted my perspective and shifted my relationship with my body, through it being an instrument, not an ornament, that's when I really started to sit back and say, okay, I want to be thin. Why is it that I want to be thin? I want to feel happiness. I want to feel desired. I want to feel attractive. I want to feel a high. I want to feel like people want me, that I'm needed. And so that's when the third way, I guess, to body acceptance is identifying why is it that you want to be thin, and getting into the core, the root. I'm sure you guys have heard me reference before that really trying to take care of the external or the surface level is really trying to run away from the negative core resistance that we're trying to avoid. Avoid feeling lonely, avoid feeling unworthy, avoid feeling anxiety, whatever it is that we are trying to run away from. That's what by changing the external circumstance, we think that it's going to bring us happiness and everything's going to be fixed. And I can tell you guys, especially from my experience, that no matter how thin I got, guys, no matter how thin I got and how many compliments I got from people about how beautiful I was and how attractive I was, nothing was ever good enough. And I was miserable because I still had the subconscious block that I was trying to run away from. And the more that I would feel it arise, the more that I tried to restrict, and the more that I tried to lose weight, and the more that I tried to run away from it. And it's just a recipe for disaster. Trying to change, I want you guys to think of it like this, and I referenced this a beautiful analogy by Teal Swan, where she heard it from a seminar or something, I don't know. But the beautiful analogy is, try to think of it like a weed. We want to plant this beautiful garden and this flower or whatever, and the weeds begin to pop up. We can try to cut the branches of the weed all we want, but if the root is still there, the root is still there, it's just simply going to grow back. No matter what we do to cut that branch, it's still going to grow back because we've taken care of the surface level, but we've not taken care of the root. And that's how I want you guys to think of it with your root core beliefs. Trying to fix the external is just trying to run away from the core, and it's never going to work out. Like it's you and maybe it will. Maybe you do manifest out XYZ, but it will never be enough for you. Or you might find that you do begin to attract a relationship per se, like if you're wanting to attract a relationship, but if your core belief is you are not worthy of love, you will either stay single and be scared to go out of your comfort zone and go put yourself out there, or you might manifest a certain person that makes you feel that you're not worthy of love, that they'll only love you if you do XYZ or if you look like XYZ. And you'll keep attracting these negative relationships into your life, or these negative people, not even relationships, people into your life that make you feel that way. Taking care of the surface level, it may work temporarily. You might feel yourself like feeling good for a while, but it only is going to build momentum from that core belief. Why do I say all this? Because through body acceptance, once I learned that my body is an instrument, not an ornament, once I took the focus off the weight and I literally gave my body to God, and I said, look, God, you take care of my body. Like, I've tried for 10 years to control it. It's done nothing but led me to almost committing suicide. Here's my body. I'm going to disidentify with my weight, and I'm going to focus on the person I choose to become, and I'm going to believe that you gave me my body to work for me, not against me. I then began to focus on the core beliefs of why I wanted to be thin, identify the emotions that I wanted to feel, and with that, I began to incorporate, or I began to choose and to create a vision of the person that I truly believe that I was, the person that I resonated with. And through that, I learned to shift my focus from weight being the identity of who I was to my passion, or the things that I love to do being the identity of who I was, and getting self-esteem from the gifts that God gave me. And I began to get self-esteem. If I haven't said this before, with my eating disorder, I focused from trying to recover from an eating disorder to trying to become the best actress that I could possibly be, because I'm an actress. I started doing theater. I started to really focus on the things that really brought me joy, that brought me passion. And I found happiness through being an actress, and I found new people coming into my life, and my acne healed. I will go ahead and say though, if you guys know I preach this, but it's through the transition of point A to point Z that all the people out there want to talk about that's an easy peasy road, but really nobody talks about that in between stage. Resistance obviously was what popped up. Shit got better before it got worse. Especially during the first time of recovery, like I was eating and eating and eating, but I had, even despite what was going on and what, the quote, like you're not the product of your circumstances, you're the product of your decisions. I had to understand that I had to hold the vision, and I had to trust the process, and I had to really allow myself to be okay with not being okay, and to be with this resistance and be present with this resistance. And again, trust the vision and trust the process, and hold the vision in my mind and keep moving forward. I held the vision of what I wanted, the person I knew I was, and I kept moving forward. So with that being said, once I learned my passions, my hobbies, I got my self-esteem through doing my passion, through really embodying and incorporating the gifts that God gave me, that I truly believe God gave me and the universe gave me, was when I learned not even body acceptance. I just learned to disidentify with my weight and my appearance being who I was. And I understood my body was an instrument, and I took my body for what it was, which is a gift from God. Not a gift to others. It was a gift from God for me, for it to be the instrument of being, for guiding me towards my dreams. And you will see that over time, if you do these 3 steps, you will see over time any external physical appearance that you want to change about yourself when you learn to change your self-image and learn to change your self-image from I need to be thin to be worthy to I feel myself when I'm doing my passion. Once you change that, you will see that the external will begin to either change itself without you even trying, or you just won't even care anymore because your life is so full with other things. So with that being said, I hope that helps. I know a lot of people, especially people who've recovered from an eating disorder before, or who ask me like, how do you deal with weight gain, or how do you deal like with the possibility of never being thin? I pretty much tell them like, you just gotta like deal with it. And I tell them like what I told you guys today, like it is a process. But learning to disidentify that you are your appearance, again, over time, you will begin to see, once you really start working on your core values and your core beliefs and integrating your negative core beliefs and moving towards the direction that you want to be, or the person you choose to be, you will see that everything just takes care of itself and you just won't even care. You'll get to a point where you just won't even care. All right. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that made sense. And as always, I appreciate every single last one of y'all, and I will talk to you guys on the next video. Bye guys.